Ale.
Hola, Simona.
Welcome to another episode of The Android Show, your home for the latest Android developer news. I'm Simona Milanovic, a developer relations engineer on the Android team at Google.
And I'm Alejandra Stamato, Android developer at HubSpot.
This time, we're at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, seeing the latest happenings in the Android world.
And I'll be your tour guide. Oh, I love Barcelona. This is gonna be so fun.
What's that?
A very important technique in software development, a feature flag.
Okay, but the first stop on the tour is here at the Android Avenue, which means...
Yeah?
I'll be the guide for this part.
Okay, great. So what are we gonna see first?
Well, since we're here, let's check out the Gemini stuff. Speaking of which, do you remember at Google I/O last year when we previewed a demo of multimodal support for Gemini and Android Studio?
Oh yeah, I can upload an image of the UI and Gemini creates the codes.
Exactly. Well, guess what? Starting today, multimodal image to code is available for you and all developers to try in the latest Canary release of Android Studio.
Oh, cool. I can't wait to play with it. It should save me writing at least 8K.
What do you mean?
Well, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so a multimodal Gemini picture or an ARM64 architecture must be worth 8K of codes? Or is that Kotlin or bytecode?
I don't think that's how it works. Meanwhile, enjoy the following segment on multimodal Gemini and Android Studio. And after that, we have some news for game developers, just in time for next week's Game Developer Conference.
And my favorite, a Compose Tips video with techniques for making great UI right after that.
And if you're watching this show live, moderators are available to answer your Android developer questions in the comment section below now. Okay, shall we?
We shall.
Then, vamos!
And we'll see you back later after.
I love rapid prototyping new UI designs for my work and personal projects. There's nothing better than taking a sketch of a rough idea on a napkin and quickly seeing that idea come to life on mobile. So for me, last May at Google I/O, Android teased one of the most exciting features in Android Studio in recent years, the potential to convert design mocks straight into functional Compose code using Gemini and Android Studio.
This allows you to do higher quality multimodal input. And there we go. You went from wireframe image to working Android code, all using Gemini.
I've been checking the release notes to see when I could use this feature for myself. When I heard it was about to come out, I jumped at the opportunity to talk about it with the team. First, Paris Shi of the Android Studio team walked me through how to use the new feature. I'm really excited about this feature. When will developers get their hands on it?
Multimodal support is available in the latest Canary of Android Studio, so you can start trying it now in Narwhal Canary. With this version, you'll see in the chat a new image icon. This allows you to attach image files to your project. We support JPEG and PNG file types. We have found that images that has higher color contrast works well. Both wireframes and high-fidelity mocks will work. With the image attached, you can ask a variety of different tasks, but we also encourage you to try turning images into code. You will need to include a prompt or ask something like, for this image provided, write Android Jetpack Compose code to make a screen that's as close to this image as possible. Make sure to include imports, use material free, and document the code. We think this feature bridges the gap between designer and developer and kickstart their journey. For an app design built in a tool like Figma, we can generate code and start prototyping faster than ever. And we're able to do this because we have a trained version of Gemini with additional coding knowledge.
It was fun getting to try this out for myself, and I wanted to learn more about how it works. So Paris introduced me to Chelsea, a Google engineer who works on the underlying model that powers this new feature.
Image to Code uses the latest Gemini's multimodal capabilities to allow AI to see and understand an uploaded image. This goes way beyond traditional image recognition. Gemini is able to understand the image just like any other user input. Upload a JPEG or PNG file of your UI design, and Gemini will analyze its visual elements, such as layout, buttons, and text, among other elements. Behind the scenes, the images are transformed into a set of visual embeddings or tokens. These tokens are passed into the model, providing additional context to the user's prompts and code context. Gemini combines its visual understanding with knowledge of common developer tasks, efficient code structure, and best practices in Compose UI development. This allows it to apply reasoning to the image and generate good, idiomatic composed code. To ensure the model generates high-quality Android code, we refine its training using reinforcement learning with AI feedback. An AI judge evaluates the generated code and assesses if it adheres to best practices, its overall effectiveness, and if it can handle the complexities of real-world application development. Reinforcement learning provides additional training signals that improve the model's ability to follow complex instructions. Given Compose UI code is a declarative framework, straightforward and easy to reason about. We thought Compose UI code generation would be a great initial application of multimodal AI.
Getting a better understanding of how this model works, I wanted to ask Paris what the future holds for Gemini and Android Studio, and how developers can get access to the multimodal features right now.
Image to code is just the beginning. Gemini's multimodal capabilities unlock a range of developer workflows, from generating documentation of architecture diagrams to troubleshooting UI bugs from screenshots. We're excited to see what you build with images. More Gemini multimodal features are coming soon. To get the latest version of Android Studio, head to developer.android.com/studio/preview.
I'm a game developer at heart, and I've been going to GDC since 2009. Every year, GDC is where the game developer community gathers to learn and network and get the latest news on game development. So I'm joined with Matthew McCullough, VP of Product Management, and Arash Mabad, VP and GM of Games on Google Play. Can you let us know which game you're recently playing?
It's a classic series, Asphalt Legends Unite. My go-to games right now are Pokemon TCG, Balatro, and I'm really enjoying Clash of Clans on Google Play Games.
For anyone who's not yet familiar, can you give us a quick update on Google Play Games?
Sure. Google Play Games lets players enjoy thousands of mobile games on PC. And this means more opportunities for developers to grow their player base and increase engagement. And we're excited to expand our support for native PC games, enabling PC developers to bring their games to play. It's going to be a big year for Google Play Games on PC as we move into general availability, with major upgrades for players and developers.
As a gamer, I love to push my device to the limit. How is Android helping developers make the most of premium devices?
One of those ways is through ADPF, the Android Dynamic Performance Framework, which helps you get the best game performance on each device. And this is going to be especially helpful for the diverse ecosystem of devices on Android. ADPF enables you to adjust between the devices and the game's performance in real time, based on the thermal state of the device. It even allows games to send signals about their upcoming resource needs so the device can adjust ahead of the demand. ADPF is getting a big update. We worked with MediaTek to enhance the performance and make ADPF compatible with a greater number of devices. Net result, smoother and longer gameplay without draining the battery from the player's device.
How does Android make Vulkan integration easier for developers?
Well, these days, games require more processing power for realistic graphics and cutting-edge visuals. Vulkan helps you maximize the performance of modern GPUs so you can implement advanced features like ray tracing and multi-threading for immersive visuals, which is what your gamers expect. That's why we're transitioning to a modern unified rendering stack with Vulkan at its core, The Vulkan Graphics API has been available since Android 7.0. And last year in Android 15, we included Angle as an optional layer for running OpenGLES on top of Vulkan. This really speaks to how we're making the Vulkan transition as easy as possible. And with future Android releases, more devices will use Vulkan to process all their graphics commands. We're also partnering with major game engines like Unity, enabling you to select and configure Vulkan at the level of each targeted device, starting with Unity 6.
That's a wrap for this quick look into some of the new things we're launching to make game development even better on Android. Thanks so much for chatting with me today. To learn more about these updates, check out our blog on the Android developer website. Thanks for watching.
Your users will be putting your UI through its paces in tons of different ways. Different themes, different locales, different font sizes, and different available window sizes. This shouldn't be overwhelming. It can be delightfully easy to test visuals and behavior for all those variations. The first tool to use is previews. When you're working on a component, like this card that changes its layout based on the available width, you can use multiple previews to get quick visual feedback for how your component is working. You can add different preview annotations, and you can also use multi-preview annotations to reuse sets of previews. There are a bunch of built-in ones, like Preview Light Dark for theming, Preview Font Scale for different font scales, and Preview Screen Sizes for different amounts of available space. You can also create your own custom multi-preview annotations by creating a new annotation class and annotating it with the preview parameters most useful for you. Here, we've added a Preview Widths annotation to preview different amounts of available horizontal space. For more information on previews and testing, check out the documentation. Happy composing and happy testing.
Welcome to a special The Android Show edition of Now on Android, covering the return of Google I/O, the Android 16 betas, and generative AI in Firebase. Well, first up, mark your calendars. Google I/O is officially returning on May 20th and 21st. Get ready for 2 days packed with the latest from Google across Android, AI, web cloud, and everything in between. The Android 16 beta releases are here. Beta 3 brings platform stability, which means you can publish apps targeting API 36 to Google Play. Apps that target Android 16 are required to be resizable on large screens. It also adds the progress-style notification template for live updates to help users monitor ongoing activities. Android 16 has enhancements to media quality, including the advanced professional video format, precise color temperature and tint adjustments, hybrid auto exposure, camera night mode scene detection, and Ultra HDR with HEIC support. 16 brings new APIs for custom graphical effects like Runtime Color Filter and Runtime Transfer Mode powered by AGSL. It has important accessibility updates, including a new API for supplemental descriptions. Several behavior changes are introduced in Android 16, including updates to art internals, predictive back animations, fixed-rate work scheduling optimization, ordered broadcast priority scope, edge-to-edge enforcement, health and fitness permissions, and intent redirect protections. Android 16 introduces major and minor API releases to allow us to drive faster innovation. Only the Q2 major release cycle we're on now includes app-impacting planned behavior changes, so make sure to test your app against Android 16. Vertex AI in Firebase, which became generally available last October, is a production-ready solution to allow you to leverage the power of generative AI in your apps. It gives you access to Google's Gemini cloud models, such as Gemini 2.0 Flash and Gemini 1.5 Pro. Imagen 3, Google's advanced image generation model, is now in public preview in Firebase for Android. The Imagen blog covers how you can use the Firebase SDK for Android to integrate Imagen 3, customize generation, and create engaging user experiences with AI-powered visuals. The Production Ready blog covers important tips for a successful deployment to production, such as implementing Firebase App Check to help protect back-end resources from abuse, using Firebase Remote Config for server-controlled configuration of your AI models, gathering user feedback with tools such as Google Analytics to evaluate the impact of your AI features. Remember to be transparent with your users about their engagement with generative AI and provide them with control over how their activity related to AI model interactions is stored. So that's it for this Android Show edition. With the Google I/O announcement, the Android 16 betas, production-ready generative AI, including the Imagine preview in Firebase. Make sure to catch the full episode, also covering kids' apps on Wear OS, trusted VPNs in play, the Widget Spotlight Week, Trusted Time, the latest in Android X, and more.
Hey Alan, did you catch the big news in December from XR Unlocked?
You mean of Android XR, the first
Android platform built entirely for the Gemini era, for both headsets and glasses.
Yeah, but whoa, what just happened with your voice?
Oh yeah, sorry.
So, what do you think? Are you worried that it's another platform to build for?
No, not at all, because they said...
If you build for Android, you're already building for XR.
You did it again.
Oh, sorry. I'm just testing my multimodal capabilities.
Well, why don't we check out some highlights from the Android XR launch, then we'll kick it off to Vinny, who had a fascinating chat with a developer who's already building for XR. Take a look.
It's the first Android platform built entirely for the Gemini era, for both headsets and glasses. With advances in AI and an amazing ecosystem of device and developer partners, we believe the time for XR is now.
We're getting started today with headsets. They're a great entry point for Android XR. And if you build for headsets, you'll be laying the foundation for other form factors that follow later. If you build for Android, you're already building for Android XR.
And with Google's groundbreaking multimodal AI that understands context, we completely transform the meaning of natural interaction. I'm very excited to present the first device designed for Android XR. Codename, Project Muhan.
We're thrilled to show you live what it's like to experience Android XR and some of the capabilities of the platform.
Maybe we could take the team here tonight if you're feeling seafood.
Hey Gemini, can you take me to this restaurant?
Sure, I can take you to the Clam in New York.
For Android developers, we're extending the tools and frameworks like Android Studio and our Jetpack libraries to XR. And for Unity developers, we'll support Unity's editor and popular XR packages. You'll be able to share your apps the same way you always have as we open the Play Store to XR. And your existing compatible apps can work without any additional effort.
These components appear like typical 2D UI when spatial UI isn't available, and they show your app's spatial UI when they can. If your app adapts well across other devices like phones and tablets, you can share a single binary across form factors. You don't have to manage multiple code bases or manage multiple builds throughout your app's launch and update processes.
Since we launched Android XR in December, we've already been seeing lots of developers building. One developer, though, really caught my eye, Adam McNeely, a Google developer expert who started broadcasting on Twitch live while he codes for Android XR for everyone to see. I recently caught up with Adam to talk to him about his experience transitioning to Android XR.
Personally, I have no experience with any 3D tooling or virtual reality, so I was worried about a steep learning curve for Android XR. However, after I got started, I found that being able to use a programming language and development environment that I already use on a daily basis made the transition very smooth from the 2D mobile space into this 3D immersive environment. Android XR development builds upon familiar mobile app concepts, things like designing user interfaces and understanding how users navigate through our application. But the form factor also brings unique considerations because it changes the way users interact with our applications. We're no longer one app on a digital screen, but we're one of many apps that can exist together in a fully immersive, infinite viewport. Android XR also brings unique immersive and mixed reality experiences. Functionality like pass-through cameras allow us to blend the digital with the physical, breaking out of that 2D mobile environment and bringing digital content into the user's physical space around them, all through the perception capabilities of Android XR.
We really like to think about Android XR as the newest member of the Android family, built on top of the existing foundations that mobile Android developers have become used to.
Building for Android XR using familiar tools like Kotlin, Android Studio, and Jetpack libraries has made it very accessible. Of course, there are some challenges, access to hardware being a big one. The emulator has been great and often feels like an extension of other large screen support, but I'm really looking forward to later this year when Samsung launches Project Muhan, so we can experience that truly immersive environment on real hardware.
Now, if you could just say one thing to developers thinking about building for Android XR, what would that be?
My biggest piece of advice for someone interested in Android XR is the same advice I'd give for any other technology. Just start. I know it can be intimidating that it's a brand new form factor, but the nice thing is, it's new to all of us. It's just as new to a seasoned Android developer as it is for someone just beginning to program, so you're not alone in your struggles. Head over to the documentation, try out a sample apps, try out the code labs, and get anything running on an emulator. Once you've experienced that virtual environment, begin tweaking small things to get familiar with the spatial APIs and see what you're capable of building. I know you're all going to build amazing things.
Thanks, Adam. It's always so great to catch up with our developers. Now, if you want to follow Adam's Android XR adventures, check out his Twitch channel in the description. We are thrilled to share that Resolution Games is bringing Demio to Android XR. This is a great example of Android XR's commitment to open standards like OpenXR, and our strong partnership with Unity enables developers to easily bring their existing OpenXR-based titles to the platform. The Android XR SDK developer preview is now available, enabling you to begin development today. Visit developer.android.com/XR, where you will find all the tools, the libraries, and resources you need to take your apps into a whole new dimension, including our brand new Android XR emulator, allowing you to test out your apps built with a Jetpack XR SDK without an XR device. We are really looking forward to all of the amazing things you'll be building for Android XR.
Wow, that was all so exciting. The future is so bright.
We're gonna need an Android XR headset. Okay, what's next on our itinerary?
Well, this is Mobile World Congress, the place to see new devices, including foldables and other form factors from our partners. Let's go see what's here.
And you can watch the upcoming videos on devices followed by a developer story about Wear OS and widgets.
Okay, follow me.
Lead on, quietly.
We're walking, we're walking, we're walking.
As an Android developer, I was thrilled to check out the latest devices being released at Mobile World Congress this year, especially the foldables and large screens. And I was super excited to talk with the people behind these devices. First up, I met with Oppo at Android Avenue to check out their latest foldable, the Find N5.
Find N5 combines a longer external screen and a large inner screen to ensure the seamless experience between the ground screen and the inner screen. Developers just follow Google's developed tools so that apps can seamlessly adapt to the different display ratios.
Next up, I headed to Xiaomi to hear about the new Pad 7 series.
Xiaomi Pad 7 series is exceptional due to its powerful hardware and intelligent software. The display is a 3.2K crystal clear display with 800 nits of peak brightness. The quad speakers are supported by Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Also, it runs on the flagship Snapdragon processor, and it has a massive battery with 67-watt hypercharge. The most exciting feature would definitely be the Xiaomi Hyper AI. As the first wave of devices that support it, Xiaomi Pad 7 series features AI writing and AI calculation. All of these features can help you dramatically increase your productivity by turning complex tasks into multiple stepless actions.
After that, I headed over to Lenovo to learn more about the new Yoga Tab Plus.
So here comes the Lenovo's first AI tablet, the Yoga Tab Plus. Equipped with the AI Now, which is a Lenovo self-developed AI agent. We call it a hybrid AI solution. So you can create with Adobe Express, taking notes in the AI notes, and also transcribe with the AI Live Transcript. And of course, explore the Google Gemini, your AI, your way. Lenovo is also partnering with developers to optimize AI-driven creativity and productivity apps. We also designed for our creators with Lenovo Tab Pen Pro. You can draw with haptic feedback, natural sound, and precise 8,192 level pressure sensing from the smoothest strokes.
And finally, I stopped by Samsung, where I was able to see the comprehensive Galaxy AI experience with new products and features across the Galaxy ecosystem. The new Galaxy S25 series just launched last month, and it's equipped with the latest and greatest Galaxy AI capabilities. It's a true AI companion through advanced AI innovations so that users can enjoy barrier-free communication. Galaxy S25 series is the most context-aware, multimodal AI phone yet, offering effortless convenience with intuitive AI and personalized experiences with your privacy assured. While I was there, I also checked out Samsung's Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra 5G, the tablet they launched last year. Samsung were also showing off their first Android XR headset, Project Muhan. In collaboration with Google, it gives you a glimpse into the future of AI-powered extended reality, integrating multimodal AI with advanced XR capabilities for an entirely immersive way to experience life. All of this talk of these new devices made me want to learn a bit more about building for large screens. So I caught up with Miguel Montemayor on the Android Developer Relations team.
From tablets, foldables to XR, the latest devices from our partners continue to provide a great reason for developers to build adaptive apps that scale across window sizes and device types, without the cost of building for each specific device. But with Android powering a diverse range of devices, it's more important than ever for apps to provide an optimized and seamless experience across tablets, foldables, Chrome OS, and even cars to meet users' needs and expectations. Making this even more important for developers, Android 16 removes the ability for apps to restrict orientation and resizability at the platform level, shifting to a more consistent model of adaptive apps.
I heard about these upcoming changes, so next I asked Miguel what I need to do to get ready.
Preparing for these changes, we've delivered a suite of tools, libraries, and platform APIs over the last several years that are designed to help you provide a consistently excellent user experience across the entire Android ecosystem. A great place to get started when building adaptive apps is by leveraging the Compose Material 3 adaptive library, enabling you to quickly and easily create optimized layouts across all window sizes while reducing the overall development cost.
Click the link below to learn more.
Cameras. Great. And let's get a slide, please. Josh, originator, take one.
MathTango is a math learning app, and specifically for the watch, it's focused around multiplication. We had to take all the fun and engagement of the full-size app and port it down to a form factor that'll fit on your wrist.
The idea of MathTango started with a thought, how can we make math learning more fun? We used Unity as a game engine platform. We were able to achieve the best runtime configuration and reduce the battery usage to 1% per minute. Now, with further optimizations of frames per second, shaders, memory, and network hits, we were able to reduce another 30%, totaling 70% improvement since the first deployment in Unity.
We decided to take the multiplication puzzles and shrink them down. That required a lot of testing and resizing to make sure that they're functional, they're usable and legible. The monsters do these crazy dances, and we were able to get those onto the watch as well. Wearables are a growing industry in our demographic. A lot of parents, they're not ready to make that jump to a full-fledged phone, and so a wearable is a great gateway to being connected to your kid.
Originator started with 5 fathers. We see Wear OS as a distraction-free educational platform for children.
We wanted the game to be bite-sized so that kids can spend just a few minutes playing the game and then get a reward and put their hand down, and go back about their day. And then later in the day, come back to it, and play again for just 3 to 5 minutes.
Unlike mobile, watch design goes centuries into the past, and there are certain anticipations, there are certain expectations of the users. We use a lot of haptic feedback to honor this clicky mechanical feel to it, at the same time combine this experience with modern UX and UI practices.
Wrist fatigue is a real thing. Holding your arm up like this for 10 minutes at a time, it's draining. So we wanted this to be very small and rewarding at the same time.
My message for developers is Wear OS is not mobile. Look into maximizing the fit of your product into the target hardware. Whether it's a screen shape and form, whether it's a battery performance, whether it's CPU and GPU requirements. While the adaptive UI techniques are useful when developing for the watch, consider a full rewrite of the UI code for the best experience.
A simple app that works well and is easy to understand is going to be way more interesting to a user than a complicated app. Some of our kids were struggling with math, and we wanted to make a fun, engaging experience that they were going to learn from.
At Regenerative, we see Wear OS as the perfect platform for our educational products.
We thought there just isn't a great math app out there on the market. We saw a need, and we decided to fill it.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Sugata Kateweta. I'm an Android engineer on SoundCloud Android team.
I'm Hossein Mirzazadeh, also an Android engineer on the SoundCloud team.
SoundCloud is a platform connecting artists and fans, empowering creators with extensive tools and resources. We have had widgets for over a decade. Our player widget is written in remote use XML. It allows users to control playback and add tracks to their likes. We recently launched our Like Tracks widget using Jetpack Glance, giving users quick access to their favorite music.
Developing with Glance was a very efficient process. Development only took about 2 weeks. It helped us create a sleek and a visually appealing UI. The launch was incredibly smooth, with an easy rollout across all form factors and a positive response from our users.
Users who engage with it open the SoundCloud app through the widget at least twice a day on average. It's a great entry point to their Like Tracks page. A user's Like Tracks collection is the heart of their listening on SoundCloud. In today's crowded home screens, this frequently updating widget keeps SoundCloud top of mind. We created a widget to offer a visually appealing and fast way to access that collection, increasing engagement for both listeners and artists, making it easy to jump back into their favorite music.
We started exploring Glance early on, initially as a developer-led initiative. Once Glance was stable, we collaborated with our product team to design a new valuable widget for our users. Using Jetpack Glance made the development process really smooth. Its declarative UI is very similar to Compose. The extensive Google samples for Glance were incredibly helpful and significantly sped up development. An example would be canonical layout samples.
Users were asking for theme support, dark mode, and resizing. Jetpack Glance allowed us to deliver all of that.
We've had lots of users leaving feedback saying that they really like the new resizing, dark mode, and dynamic color features. My advice for developers would be, leverage sample app repositories. They're a fantastic way to learn by seeing real-world implementations.
The Android developers website offers many helpful resources. The code samples, widget guide, bug tracker, and the Socialite sample app are all excellent tools. Widgets provide a valuable way to enhance user experience and drive engagement. We encourage developers to explore the possibilities of Jetpack Glance and create impactful widgets for their apps.
I'd recommend checking out the sample code with Jetpack Glance provided by the Google Developer Relations team on widget development. We also received great support from the Android team while building our widgets, so a big thanks to them.
Have you wondered how you can make your app's content easier for your users to engage with? Does your app have popular features that users might find helpful pinned on their home screens for convenient access? Android developers, welcome to the world of widgets. This week's Spotlight series dives deep into widget benefits, design, implementation, and discovery. You'll learn how to increase user engagement and streamline access to your app's key features. And we'll showcase real examples from popular apps and provide step-by-step technical guidance. Allow me to glance over 3 things we'll cover this week. First, you'll see how users have new ways to search and discover your widget on the Google Play Store. What a great time to revisit your widget or consider building a new one. Secondly, we'll cover new widget design resources, including a Figma kit and how-to blog. Together, they will help you easily visualize your content as a widget and iterate on designs that are aligned with our recently published quality guidance, so your widget looks and feels right at home across the Android ecosystem. Third, you'll learn how to bring those widget designs to life in code. During this code along, you'll see how we approach building a news widget from a widget canonical layout code sample. Canonical layouts are a great starting point for building helpful, beautiful widgets faster. All that and a lot more in our latest Spotlight Week on Widgets. We look forward to seeing what you'll design and build.
Walking and stop.
Whoa, that was a lot. There is so much Android here.
And for everyone who wasn't at Mobile World Congress, in these Android Show videos, be sure to watch the playlist for more about the new support for multimodal Gemini and Android Studio.
And the announcements for Android game developers.
And information for developing for XR.
And new Android devices in a variety of form factors.
And more. Okay, that was Mobile World Congress, and that's our show. Don't forget, Google I/O is happening May 20 to 21st, and we've got 2 days of live stream keynotes and sessions covering the best of Android. You can register now. Okay, shall we see a bit of Barcelona?
Oh yeah, definitely, but I'll need this back. My turn to lead.
Great, where to first?
Well, so many places to choose from, but I'm thinking maybe paella. I'm starving.
I am too, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Next stop, lunch. We're walking, we're walking, we're walking.